back to you, little sweetheart of the Smokies, with a heart that is so true. There is just one thought in this heart of mine, the thought of seeing
In the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains lies Asheville, Queen City of western North Carolina, where 50,000 or more inhabitants live their lives in peaceful seclusion, at the same time enjoy a prosperous contact with the best that the world has to offer for business or for pleasure. Among the city's many outstanding institutions is the Grove Park Inn, a haven of rest and relaxation, as well as an international rendezvous for the socially elite. George Vanderbilt, the famous New York capitalist, came to Asheville in 1889, and 6 years after his arrival, he had completed what is considered to be the most pretentious estate in America. Biltmore House, as it is called, was designed along the lines of a French Renaissance chateau. Throughout the interior, one may see priceless and rare antiques, tapestries, paintings, and other works of art and beauty, gathered from all parts of the world. Biltmore House was opened to the public in 1930, 16 years after Mr. Vanderbilt's death, and today it provides an excellent background for the rhododendron pageant, which is an annual event in Asheville, reenacted here for our special benefit. In addition to the local people who take part in this colorful pageantry, there are sponsors or beauty queens from practically all of the southern states, selected by their various governors as representatives to the court of rhododendrons. It is with genuine reluctance that we are obliged to say farewell to this bevy of southern belles and continue our journey 26 miles east of Asheville to Chimney Rock, the entrance to which is an imposing stone gateway with a rather unusual design. Chimney Rock is a freak monolith, rising over 200 feet from the mountain which bears its name. Cleverly built into the side of the rock is a unique hostelry, known as the Cliff Dwellers Inn, the inner wall of which is the cliff itself. The valley below Chimney Rock, which cradles Lake Lure, is one of the most impressive views in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Both the Blue Ridge and the Great Smoky Ranges reach their culminating heights in western North Carolina, and together they constitute the greatest mass of mountains in the eastern half of the United States. This area was converted into the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in 1926 by the United States government, and since that time it has been one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world. Thanks to good motor roads and organized Smoky Mountain tours, what was once the private domain of the Cherokee Indians is now conveniently accessible to all who would bask in the joys of scenic grandeur. Aside from scenic beauty, These swift-flowing mountain streams provide water power for the old mills that still serve a practical purpose in the life of the mountain folks who have not yet succumbed to modern innovations. The mountain slopes, which are adorned with wild blossoms during the flowering season, have inspired John Moore, a native son, to compose one of his most popular compositions, entitled When It's Blossom Time in Old Caroline. This region was formerly the exclusive hunting ground of the Cherokee Indians, and their descendants today dress up for the benefit of tourists and demonstrate that they have not lost their skill with the bow and arrow or the blowgun, which was a special weapon of the Cherokee Indians. These Cherokees are full-blooded descendants of the tribe who fled from General Scott's soldiers during the Indian removal and took refuge in the Smoky Mountains, where they defied capture. Although tribal dress is used on festive occasions, they have generally adopted modern attire, but most of them still adhere to primitive methods of farming. Out of the 3,300 or more Indians living on the Cherokee Reservation in North Carolina, about 700 of them are full-blooded Cherokees, and many of the women, in their manner of dress, are not unlike the squaws from whom they descended. And now we come to some of the more typical characters of the white race who inhabit the mountain regions of North Carolina and still cling to the manners and customs of their forefathers. This grand old lady has lived in the mountains all her life, and although she is almost 90 years of age, she still enjoys a puff at the pipe and a turn at the old spinning wheel. Most of the ancestors of the mountain folk came from the British Isles centuries ago, and so firmly did they isolate themselves that today it is not unusual to find some of their descendants still speaking the English of Chaucer and living so much in the past that happenings in the world beyond their mountain retreat are of little concern to them. But modern innovations have gradually influenced the rising generation, so that today most of them are typical of the average young Americans found in the rural districts of the United States. Old-fashioned dancing, however, is still their chief form of group entertainment. And so life goes on in the mountains of North Carolina, where the simpler diversions of mankind are still of paramount importance in the design of living.